In the search for the truth about Cleopatra VII's lineage, a lack of information leaves historians in limbo as to the identity of her mother. However, research into the era known as the Ptolemaic period and the available historical records point to Queen Cleopatra V Tryphaena as the most likely candidate. The existence of Cleopatra V Tryphaena remains shrouded in mystery, as do her contemporaries during the Ptolemaic period. She is believed to have lived in Alexandria, but the oldest papyri that mention her name date back to 79 BC, when she married Ptolemy XII, the reigning king of Egypt, writes ancient origins. Historical sources present conflicting information, naming her Cleopatra V or Cleopatra VI. This discrepancy is due to the prevalence of the name Cleopatra in Ptolemaic times, and this article refers to her as Cleopatra Tryphaena, or Cleopatra V. Unfortunately, the lifespan of Cleopatra V remains a mystery. However, it is known that she spent 10 years in the king's palace at Alexandria. Her marriage to Ptolemy XII took place shortly after his accession to the throne, despite his far from ideal ruler qualities. Ptolemy XI, his predecessor, was deposed and subsequently lynched by the Egyptian people, enraged by the murder of the popular and respected Queen Berenice III, who was also his stepmother and co-ruler. Ptolemy XII became the only male heir to the Ptolemaic dynasty after the death of Ptolemy XI. Struggling with debts to the Roman Empire, internal conflicts and the threat of becoming a Roman province left Egypt in a critical situation. It was against this background that the new king formed an alliance with his cousin Cleopatra Tryphaena. Regarding Tryphaena's origins, it was thought that she was the daughter of either Ptolemy IX and Cleopatra Selene I or Ptolemy X Alexander and Berenice III. Hints as to this uncertainty may lie in the name of Cleopatra VII's own daughter, Cleopatra Selene II, which suggests the possibility of a memorial honoring her grandmother. The lack of further explanation strengthens this hypothesis, leaving no other reason for Cleopatra VII to name her only daughter in this way. Ptolemy XII and Tryphaena were revered as a divine couple during their reign. Although many historians believe that they had 3 daughters, Cleopatra VI Tryphaena, Berenice IV and Cleopatra VII, others claim that Ptolemy XII was the father of 3 children by another unknown woman, namely Arsina, Ptolemy XIII and Ptolemy XIV. Some scholars suggest that Tryphaena was the mother of all Ptolemy children, but this remains an assumption. Strabo's account contradicts these notions, reporting that Ptolemy XII had only 3 daughters, Berenice IV, Cleopatra VII and Arsinoe IV. An alternative theory suggests that Ptolemy divorced Tryphaena, which led to her withdrawal from public life in Alexandria. It is also suggested that her fate after 69 BC is intertwined with that of the co-rulers who supported Ptolemy XII. If Strabo's account is accurate and there was no daughter named Cleopatra Tryphaena, it means that Pharaoh's wife took on the role of co-ruler, which consequently changed her position at court and deeply affected the lives of their family. In 58 BC, the Egyptian people demanded that Ptolemy XII abdicated, forcing him to give up the throne in order to preserve his life. During his absence, his company rulers took official control of Egypt. Tragically, however, Tryphaena died a few months later in 57 BC, probably poisoned by Berenice IV, who sought to maintain sole dominance of the Egyptian throne. Details of these events remain unknown, but when Ptolemy XII returned to Egypt 3 years later, he returned to the throne and ordered the execution of Berenice. The burial of Cleopatra V Tryphaena, shrouded in the mysterious atmosphere that accompanied her existence, most likely took place in a mausoleum in Alexandria. Whether she was buried in a tomb associated with the Ptolemies or in Soma, the tomb of Alexander the Great, which served as the final resting place for many Ptolemaic rulers, remains unknown. It is important to note that Cleopatra VII was very different in character from her father. Could this contrast be the key to unlocking the mystery of Tryphaena's identity? Was Cleopatra VII like her mother? The confusing and fragmentary genealogical tree of the last Ptolemaic dynasty still suffers from gaps in information and the gradual fading of historical memory over time.